Okay. Yep, sorry, this is a little awkward at the beginning, but thank you guys for coming here. Once again, you didn't have a choice. Okay, put this over here. Okay, have you ever taken an image and your subject was a little dark and it was difficult to see? Maybe it was a little bit too bright and the image was blown out altogether. Well, I'm here to show you how to fix these images with just a few simple steps. Underexposed and overexposed images can be a little bit unsightly. So, how we're going to do this, we're going to fix this using Lightroom in 3 steps. First step, we're going to go into the Light tab. We're going to adjust the lighting effects. Second, we'll go down to Hue and Saturation, play around with the colors a little bit. And third, we'll add some clarity and vignetting. What that's going to do, that's going to give you a little bit more stylization and personalization to the image. So, I already have my image selected here. This is the one we're going to use. As you can see, it's very underexposed. One thing I always do is we're going to go all the way down to the very bottom and we're going to check and make sure that remove chromatic aberration, that has a checkbox in that. And also enable lens corrections. Once we've done that, we're going to go all the way back up to the top in the Lightings tab. And just real quick, we're going to increase the exposure, bring that up to about 1. And that's already making it look a little bit better. But now you can see we've got all of our highlights going down the road right here. They're blown out. So we're going to bring our contrast down just a little bit. That's going to help. And our highlights down. Now our highlights look a little bit more natural, but the image is still pretty dark. So we'll bring the shadows up. And it's looking better, looking better. Bring the whites down just a little bit again. And that's going to play with these highlights right here going down the road. And then bring the blacks up. That's going to brighten the image just a little bit more. Now we're done in the lights section. This is where the fun kind of kicks in. You get to personalize it. So we're going to go down to the color tab and play around with the hue and saturation of it. What I like to do first in the color tab is play with the temperature. Now you can make your image really warm like this. Or what I prefer is I prefer to bring it down on the cooler side. Give it a little bit more blue in the image. Once you're done with that and you're satisfied, we'll go into the individual sliders here. We're going to start with red. I really don't want to change the hue of it. I like the way it looks right here going down the road. It could be a little, could pop a little more. So let's bring up the saturation. And that's beautiful. Orange. There's a lot of orange on this road right here. It looks unnatural. I don't like it. Easiest way to fix that, we'll bring down the saturation. Now it looks like a road again instead of some orange mess. There's not many yellows in the image, so we don't need to mess with that. There is some green right on this building here. I want to make that green a little bit more blue and also make it pop as well. So we'll bring the hues up just a little bit. You can see that changing slightly. And then we'll play around with the saturation, make that pop just a little bit more. Wonderful. That's how I like it. Looks good to me right there. Aquas, there's not many aquas. We'll leave that alone. And the blues, I'm going to bring that down to a teal color. That's just my preferred style. If you want to make it purple, you certainly can. You can bring it all the way up. But we're going to go with the teal. It looks better. Next is our purple. Only spot that has purple in the image is right here at the top of the building. All we need to do, increase the saturation a little bit more, make it stand out. Wonderful. So now we're done with the color section on it. We're going to go ahead and throw some clarity and vignetting on here in the effects tab. In the effects, right here is clarity. So clarity does 2 things. It'll make your image more crisp, or it'll smoothen it out depending upon what you're working in. So if I bring it down, here we go, we can see it kind of smooths it out, really looks weird. And if I bring it all the way up too much, it looks completely unnatural. So we're just going to put that around a nice midway point, and that makes our towers back here, the buildings, a little more defined and crisp. Now, we'll add just a little bit of vignetting. As you can see, it's going to bring some shadows right around the corners of the image. What that does, it's going to pull your focus into the image a little more. And what we want is we want people focusing on this road right here, as that's the main subject, leading them into the city and then out of it. So once you have that done on the vignetting, you can play around with the split toning. What the split toning does, it's going to allow you to change the tones of the highlights and shadows. Only thing I want to do on this is make the shadows a little bit more blue. So I'm going to take this and we're going to go over to the blue right here, and that looks wonderful to me. So if you're pleased with that, as I am, I would stop right here. What you want to do, make sure you save and export your image so you don't lose it. To do that, super easy. You go to File, Save To, and then you save that to your desktop, just like that. Wonderful, it's saved. Already you guys can see, let me blow this up full screen. We went from this super underexposed image to pretty decent, well exposed, nice colors all the way around. Instantly increasing, instantly making the image look better. You can apply these same skills to absolutely any image, whether it's underexposed, overexposed. It'll make it look better so much. In conclusion, editing a photograph consists of these 3 steps: adjusting the light settings, playing around with the hue and saturation, and adding effects to stylize your image. Great job. You can now go and show off your images to your friends and impress them with your phenomenal editing skills. Thank you. All right, I gotta pan back to you guys. Panning back to you guys. Okay, there's you.